Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, DJ Hamilton of the DJ Sports on WRCR Radio here in Gardenville, New York, and I hope you all are having a great start to your Saturday afternoon. Here we have a great show here for you guys today. We'll talk some NFL conference championships as we approach the championship rounds tomorrow on Sunday between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles and Washington Commanders. How you doing today, Jeff?
I'm great. How are you, DJ?
I know we had a little scare right before the show. That was my a little scare.
You're okay.
That was my fault. I didn't know that was going to happen. That's why we started the show a little late. But we have a great show here for you guys today. Coming on to talk some football, I'm joined by my guy, Jon O'Donnell, who covers the Bills. John, how you doing, man? How you doing,
DJ,
John?
I'm doing real good. How are you today?
I'm doing good, man. I know you're out in Las Vegas right now. How's the weather out there?
We just lost him. The phone just went. Unfortunately, call back, John.
John. Oh, call back, John. So yes, we have having some technical difficulties right now. John's gonna call us back, but yes, we have the Bills and Chiefs right now, who meet for the fourth time in the postseason since 2021. And Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes has a 3-0 record on Josh Allen in the postseason, and Josh Allen's looking to get his first win against Patrick Mahomes in the postseason, as he has a 4-1 record in the regular season. We have John back on the line with us. You hear me, John?
Hey, DJ, much better, sir. How are you today? Thank you.
Doing good. Some technical difficulties. But, yes, John, I know you're excited. Your Buffalo Bills are in the postseason and they're making the AFC Championship game again. How are you feeling about your Bills and their chances this year?
Well, as a Bills fan, you always have to be cautiously optimistic because if you get your hopes up, the Bills will dash them and make you cry in a puddle of tears. Because that's what the Bills do. That being said, DJ, I have to say I think this is the first time in this rivalry with Mahomes that we, the Bills, have a better team. So I am cautiously optimistic, and I'm hoping that we will have our fifth shot at the Super Bowl with the results being a lot different than the first four times that we were able to get there.
Yes, so this is actually the fourth time you guys are facing off in the postseason. Patrick Mahomes has a 3-0 postseason record against you guys. As Josh Allen, he has a 4-1 regular season record against Mahomes, but he has yet to beat him in the playoffs. I know you can't forget that 2021 divisional round classic when there was 25 points scored in the final 2 minutes, and the Bills had the game. Then that 13 seconds, the Chiefs came back to tie the game, and they scored that game-winning touchdown in overtime with Mahomes to Kelsey. And I know that was a heartbreaking loss for you as a Buffalo Bills fan when the Chiefs won that game 42-36. I was watching that game in my college dorm. I was like, this is the greatest football game I've ever seen.
You know, when you're a Bills fan, when the wide right kick that Bass missed the following year was the easier loss to handle, and all of a sudden you've got to deal with, like you said, the 13-second game as it's become known as. And but listen, I mean, that's Bills football. The Music City Miracle happened. Scott Norwood happened. It's what we do as Bills fans. We live through the misery. We come back every year for more. So eventually, the football gods have to shine on us, right? And I hope that this is that year.
Yes. So you guys are one of the teams that defeated the Chiefs, gave them one of their two losses back in Week 11 when you defeated them 30-21. Josh Allen and James Cook, your star running back, who's had a breakout season, combined for 3 rushing touchdowns in that game. For the Chiefs, they're looking to become the first team to three-peat NFL history, and your Bills, you guys looking to get the Super Bowl for the first time since 1994. It's been a long time, my friend. It's been a long time. The Chiefs' offense, this is an offense that averaged the second lowest points per game, 22.6 in the Mahomes era. And they only scored 30 points twice this season, which is the lowest of any team of any season in the Mahomes era. So this is not an explosive offense that the Chiefs are coming out and dishing out against your Bills. And I know you guys struggle defensively, especially stopping the run. But in terms of the Chiefs' offense, there's nothing like really dynamic or elite about it. They just know how to make subtle plays during winning time, and that's why they separate themselves from others, and they just know how to win. And one thing the Chiefs have struggled to contain this recently is the run, and your Bills have been one of the best running teams in all of the National Football League. You guys, the last 6 regular season games, average over 153 rushing yards per game, over 2 touchdowns per game on 5 yards per carry, in large part due to Josh Allen and James Cook. And I think one of the biggest reasons why your Bills has taken a big step this season is James Cook has taken his production up. Yes, he rushed for over 1,000 yards last season, but he did again this season. But he gave you 16 touchdowns this season rushing. He only had 4 combined his first 2 seasons, so he quadrupled that this season, and it has alleviated pressure off of Josh Allen. which I think has been a big reason why you guys more multi-dimensional offensively. And I think that's why you guys have a real shot to eventually maybe, finally beat the champs.
I think there's two keys to this game, DJ, and I think you've hit on both of them. James Cook has really come alive here as a running back for the Bills, and I think you want to give a lot of credit to the offensive line too. Spencer Brown, Torrance Osiris, and Deion Dawkins, all really Pro Bowl level players this year. And while they didn't make the Pro Bowl, that's the Bills' MO, right? Is we've got a lot of really good players who aren't stars on the team, and all of those guys I mentioned are. And the running game for the Bills is going to be 100% important because Mahomes cannot have the ball with a chance to win the game because we've seen it. He's going to do it. And that's the other key to this game is with Matt Milano healthy-ish, I think Travis Kelce's not going to do 130 yards and 7 catches and 2 touchdowns. I don't care how much Taylor Swift cheers for him. I think that those are the keys to the game, and I think that that's why the Bills really do have a chance to win this. I will be very honest with you. When I handicapped this game, I know it's a 2-point spread for the Chiefs. I came out with the Bills, and again, I'm trying to be objective here. I came out with the Bills almost to 5.5. So I think the Bills have the better team, but they're the Chiefs. And until you beat the champs, they're the champs. So fingers crossed, looking forward to it. I'm sitting here in Las Vegas, the city of luck, and hopefully that'll bring luck to the Orchard Park natives, the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, that's why you went to Vegas to get some luck?
Yes, that's the only reason I'm here. Just to get luck. But hey, I'll do whatever it takes, man. I'll go to Mars if it means I can win a Super Bowl, man. Come on.
Yeah. So. Now, as of right now, FanDuel, the Chiefs are favored -130. The Bills are at +110. On the spread, it's saying the Chiefs are -1.5 and the Bills 1.5. I think it's going to be a close game. So, honestly, the spread, I'm kind of surprised they only have the Chiefs at 1.5. This is a team that, I feel like it's going to be a tight game, but I feel like maybe because some people, if they have the Chiefs to win, I'll probably say they'll win by 3 points. I'll probably put the spread at -3. I feel like 1.5 is a little.
But think about that, DJ. The problem with this spread, in my opinion, is the books cannot make the Chiefs an underdog because the money will just come in way too much. Remember what the spread's supposed to do? Get even money on both sides of the betting population. If you made the Chiefs an underdog at home, the money coming in, the handle would just be too much. So you have to have the Chiefs be a favorite. But again, it's less than a home field advantage, which tells me that Vegas knows that the Bills are the better team. But from a betting perspective, they just can't do that to themselves and take that much money on one side of the equation.
And also, another thing I want to mention about your Bills, Josh Allen's been taking care of the football much better this season, and a large part of that is due to your great offensive line. You guys were 4th, according to ESPN, in pass block win rate, and you guys allowed the fewest sacks of Josh Allen in his career. You guys were number 1 in QB sack percentage allowed this season in the NFL, and had the 5th fewest pressures allowed this season. And I think that correlates to why he's been more meticulous in the pocket because he has more time to be able to make that first, second, third read to find receivers and see what he likes. And if he doesn't like it, he can go rush for the football and do stuff himself. And I think that's why he's been more meticulous in the pocket and why he has the fewest interceptions of his career this season, 6, than any other year of his career. And he only had 1 fumble, which is the lowest of his career. So he's done a great job taking care of the football, and I just want to credit your offensive line for that. And I think that's why you guys also have a legit shot of beating this Chiefs team because that offensive line does a great job, and that defensive front line of the Chiefs is pretty elite. So.
Yeah, that'll be very important. I think you're 100% right. The offensive line's important. I think Brandon Beane, the general manager for the Bills, deserves all the credit this year because we lost our starting center and Stephon Diggs and so much of our secondary. And, it's the NFL. Next man up is the mentality, right? But at the same time, it's easy to say that, and the Bills have executed on that, whether it's Damar Hamlin having a breakout season himself, whether that's Terrell Bernard being at all-pro level. It's just Brandon Beane has put a winning team together, and you just have to get over that last hurdle. And maybe face Jaden Daniels, the most impressive rookie we've ever seen in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So that'll be something else.
Before we get to the NFC, I just want to have some keys to win for each team. So for what I put in my notes is, so the Chiefs' keys to win, I said they got to contain the run. They got to prevent Cook and Allen from getting going. That's their main source of offense. This was a team that was 2nd in scoring this year in the National Football League. They average over 30 points per game, and that's due to Josh Allen and James Cook getting out there running the football. Next thing I have is get Kelce in the rhythm early. You saw what they did in that divisional round against the Texans. They fed him early, and he got going, and I got the offense going. Remember that? I know there was 13-12, and then Mahomes somehow found Kelce falling down that touchdown. That changed the whole game. That gave the energy to the crowd, and they just went on momentum after that. So they got to get Kelsey going early. And, he's called Mr. January for a reason. He steps his game up in the postseason. And they got to test that defensive front line. One thing that's one of the weakness for the Bills is their defense, especially against the run. They were near the bottom of the league, about like in the ranked 20th or something like that, in defending the run. And this is a Chiefs team that's kind of struggled lately in terms of having a productive run game. Pacheco, since coming back, hasn't really been the same. And then Kareem Hunt, he's been solid when Pacheco was out, but since Pacheco's come back, he hasn't been as impactful. I want to see if they could get things going in the run game, take some pressure off that passing game from Mahomes to Kelsey, and just get things going offensively. And then for your Bills, the keys to win for me is to keep the same formula, limit the turnovers. You guys have done a great job of that all season. I think you guys were like number one in giveaways. You guys didn't really turn over the ball. You have to get off to a quick hot start offensively. I don't want to see you guys be down 14-0 against this Chiefs team, because that 14-0 is going to be like 30-0 in that stadium. Yeah. So you want to get going early. You want to put the pressure on the Chiefs early on. And then don't let Kelsey get going early. If I'm the Bills defensive coordinator, I'm doing the same thing. Put Terrell Bernard, like you did against Mark Andrews, put him on Kelsey in man-to-man coverage. Do what he forced that big fumble that helped you guys eventually push the lead and win that game. So that's some of the keys I have for this game.
No, I think, DJ, I think you've covered it really well. Just a couple of things there. I think Taylor Rapp being out really does hurt the Bills. Mm-hmm. The Bills really do like to play that cover or that sub package where we have the nickel corner, and it's usually Rapp. And with him out, I think that does hurt against Kelsey. Your point about Bernard, I think, holds up. The two numbers you're going to want to look at, I think, are this. The Bills have to win the turnover battle, and you mentioned it. They were the number one turnover margin. They have to win that. They have to have the ball more if they're going to beat Mahomes. The other thing is 3rd and 5 or less, 3rd and medium, if you will, and less. The Bills have got to be above 60% converting those in order to keep the ball away from Mahomes and, to your point, not getting down early, getting a lead, and forcing Mahomes to do it one more time. Eventually, he's going to not do it, right? Yeah. We have to believe he's not going to do it. I don't know if I believe that myself, DJ, but it has to happen, right, one time.
It has to happen at some point. At some point. You got to show that he's human.
I hope so, my friend. I hope so. One time.
Yeah. So now we're going to get to NFC. So we got the Commanders and Eagles. So the Commanders, for the first time since 1991, are in the NFC title game, ending their 32-year drought. The Eagles look to return to the Super Bowl for the second time in 3 seasons. The Commanders, man, like you said, we talked about him before, Jaden Daniels, arguably the best rookie we've ever seen, quarterback position. He has a chance to become the first starting rookie quarterback to make a Super Bowl if they punch their ticket, defeating the Eagles. He has been setting records this NFL season, just a few of them. Rushing yards, 891, and postseason completions with 46. That's just a few of them. The Eagles, though, I know the Commanders have a top 5 offense. They are a high-powered offense. They can do it in the run game. They can do it through the air. But they're going against the Eagles team that was first in opponent points allowed. They are an elite defense. They have really taken up their defense this year compared to last year. They were like near the bottom of the league, 30th in scoring, and then 31st in another statistic. And this Eagles defense has really stepped up. They were also in first in against the pass, and that's what the Commanders like to do. And they were 6th in takeaways per game. And another thing I have is these are some of the 2 of the best fourth quarter offenses in the NFL. These are the 2 top teams going at it. So this game might come down to the wire, and that's why I'm really interested in seeing. And then some of the keys I have to this game for the Eagles to win: contain the Commanders' explosive offense. You're gonna have to pressure Daniels in the pocket as well. Don't let him get comfortable. Get him rattled a little bit. Make him show that he's a rookie, even though he's been pretty unflappable this season. You're gonna have to show that. Attack the Commanders' weak defensive front line. This is not a good team. Just like your Bills, they're kind of leaky defensively in defending the run. And you're going against the best running back in the league, in Saquon Barkley, who's probably going to win the Offensive Player of the Year. So that's something I have for the Eagles. Commanders, you're going to have to contain Saquon Barkley to under 100 rushing yards. In the 3 losses the Eagles had this season, he had 150 yards or less. And in 2 of those, he had under 100. So you're going to have to – it's easier said than done, but you're going to have to do that. And one thing about the Eagles' defense, Bobby Wagner has something to say of how they're going to try to contain Saquon Barkley. Here's what Bobby Wagner had to say about trying to contain Saquon Barkley.
I think that's it. You just try to contain him. I think this is going to be a game of discipline. If you watch all the games, even the last game, they did a pretty decent job for the most part, but he's waiting for that one person to pop out of the gap. He's waiting for that one person to be undisciplined, and as soon as he sees it, and he's gone. And so that's going to be our challenge, is to be disciplined the whole time, the whole game, understanding that, he has the ability and the talent to break a run at any given point. And we just need to make sure that don't happen.
Yes, that was Bobby Wagner, one of the best linebackers in the NFL, talking about how the Commanders need to contain Saquon if they want to have a chance to win. And the last thing I had is they have to make Hurts a passer. Like, you see, I know they have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, but they like to really rush the football. This team was like top 2 in terms of rushing yards and like many of the rushing statistics this season, and that's in large part due to Saquon when you have that type of weapon. What do you think? Who do you think will come out in the Eagles and Commanders game?
DJ, if I told you that Jalen Hurts was going to be in the NFC Championship game and on championship weekend, he'd be the 4th quarterback of the 4 quarterbacks, nobody would believe you. But I think that's true. I think he's the worst quarterback left on these 4 teams, and I think that when you've got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, and you can't throw the ball for 150 yards a game, you got to pull the thumbs if you're Jalen Hurts and say it's my fault. But here's the thing. The offensive and defensive lines of the Eagles are elite, and the offensive and defensive lines of the Redskins are not elite. They are bottom half, and that is going to be the problem for the Redskins. Jaden Daniels is a phenomenal talent. Don't forget, though, we thought C.J. Stroud was the next best thing as well, and he has had a step backwards. If you make it this far, you have to finish the job. If you don't know if he'll ever get back there, ask Dan Marino, ask the other guys who've been this close. But to answer your question, DJ, I don't see how the Redskins can control the ball offensively and defensively with that mismatch in the trenches. So I've got the Eagles coming out here probably in less than a touchdown game, but I think the Eagles control the game. I think when we get done watching it, we'll know the Eagles won the game, but we'll be surprised at how close it was.
Yeah, according to FanDuel, they have the Eagles minus 6.5 on the spread to win this game, and they're the favorites to win minus 290. So that's something that's going to be interesting to look forward to. John, it's been an honor to have you on the show. Tell people where they can find your work.
Always great to be here, DJ. Please follow me on Instagram at HitTrain and Cinderblock Sports for more of my insane sports takes. DJ, always great talking to you. Hope to talk to you when the Bills make the Super Bowl. Thanks, bud.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Jon O'Donnell, who covers Buffalo Bills. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, coming back from the break, we're going to talk some Detroit Pistons with a special guest who covers the Pistons. This is listening to DJ Sports here on WRCR Radio, and we'll be right back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here on the DJ Sports here on WRCR Radio. And, yes, you know how to play some Big Sean. He's from Detroit, as we're going to talk some Detroit basketball, as I'm joined by my friend Eric Vincent, who covers the Detroit Pistons of Clutch Points, and who's a beat reporter for the Detroit Pistons, who I met at NABJ back in Chicago last summer. Eric, pleasure to have you on, my brother.
What up, DJ? Pleasure to be here, man. Thanks for having me on. It's going to be a good time.
Oh, yeah. So, Eric, your Pistons, man, you guys have been balling out of control this year. You guys have made a big jump. You're currently top 6 in the East right now. If the playoffs started today, you guys would be locked into a playoff spot, 23-21 this season so far. You guys have won more games than you did all of last season when you won 14, and the last 2 seasons combined, 31. You guys are on pace to break both of that. So, Eric, someone who's up close, who covers the team and all that, what do you think has been the biggest difference in the energy of this team and overall identity of this team coming into this season?
Well, I think you just said it. I think they're actually establishing an identity now. They've had a lot of turnover on the roster. For a lot of the young core, this is now their 3rd coach that they're dealing with. And I think the identity starts with the leadership that they've brought in. Trajan Langdon is the new president of basketball operations. They swung him over from the Pelicans, where he did a lot of time learning from David Griffith, and he's done a fantastic job with a lot of the pieces that they brought in for the veterans like Tim Hardaway Jr., Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley. Like, all these guys have been great compliments to the young core of Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, who was healthy when he was playing some of his best basketball, and even Jalen Duren, who's breaking out now, as well as Asar Thompson, Isaiah Stewart. Like, you're just seeing a lot of the leadership that's bringing out the best of these guys, and that also goes to J.B. Bickerstaff. He wasn't one of the first options for the Pistons search when they started their head coaching search. They got rid of Monty Williams, who really, I think, did a terrible job when he was here last season. And JB has really rejuvenated this entire franchise, bringing in a system. He's got this team playing, top 5, top 10 defense throughout the regular season. And they're finding, their strong points on offense as well. They're really, bringing out their potential. And, in the Eastern Conference that's not that strong right now, it's really insightful, really exciting to see for this team. It's really cool.
Yeah, one thing that stands out for me is like your star player, franchise guy, Cade Cunningham, man. The game seems to have slowed down for him, man. And I remember I've been watching Cade since he was in high school, and one thing he's gotten better at since coming to the NBA, he's finishing better at the rim. He's been more efficient. He seems like he always played at a slow, methodical pace, but now he seems like the game has really slowed down for him. He gets to where he wants to get to. He dictates where he wants to get to. He doesn't let any defender rush where he wants to get to on the floor. Similar to a little bit like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And another comparison I've seen he kind of reminds me of is Brandon Roy. Like, he's not the most athletic guy, but he's an elite 3-level scorer. He can score at the rim. He has a great jump shot from the mid-range, create his own shot, and from three-point range. And he's averaging career highs in points, rebounds, and assists, and field goal percentage, and three-point percentage. He's shooting over 45% from the field and nearly 38% from three. And I know he didn't make the All-Star starters, which we might get into, but he became recently the first Piston. He passed Isaiah Thomas for the most 15 assists, triple-doubles in franchise history with 3. He had that against the Knicks last month. And then he also is one of the only, him along with Isaiah Thomas, to score 25-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and dish 15-plus assists in a single game. So Cade Cunningham, he's becoming everything you guys ever wanted as that number 1 overall pick. I know his rookie season was kind of inconsistent, but he still showed a lot of flashes. His second year, he only played like 10, 11 games. He got injured, so that kind of slowed down his development. And then last year, guys had that horrid season. You guys won like 20. It was like 25 straight losses, right?
28. Yeah.
28. Damn, even more than I thought. I was like, man, what is going on in Detroit? I know there are bad teams in the NBA, but to lose 28 is crazy. 28 straight is crazy.
Yeah, you got to go out of your way to lose that many. But yeah, like you said, Cade. The potential's always been there for him. Like you said, if you've been following since high school, even in college, where he dragged an Oklahoma State team that wasn't that great to March Madness, and now with the Pistons, where again there's so much struggle, a lot of changes going back and forth, and even to give the offseason contract that he got to sign the max, a lot of people were speculating if he even wanted to sign, considering all the struggle that this franchise had been through. So now, knowing that he did put pen to paper and we're seeing the best basketball he's played in his career, like, people have seen the potential, but now it's coming with victories as well. And Cade is the leader of it all. He's, like you said, a 3-level scorer. I think one of the best playmakers in basketball. To me, if you ask me, you talked about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think the fact that he's playing at an MVP level kind of coins him as the best point guard in basketball. I think Cade is the most complete point guard in basketball. Like, I don't think his resume is strong enough to say he's the best yet, but if you look at the way he plays in just this season, there's not a lot of flaws in his game that are limiting this team from getting victories. Even the turnovers that he has, which I think he's number 1 in the league, that's not stopping him from winning. Like, he just had 10 turnovers against, the Rockets, and then they just played again after that, and he had double-digit turnovers, and that didn't stop them from winning the game by double digits. So, like, his level of production of this team is making players around him better. Like, guys like Malik Beasley, who's having a resurgence, Tim Hardaway Jr., Tobias Harris. Like, a lot of these people looked at these guys like as cast-offs before they became the Pistons players. Like, I remember when the Sixers lost in the playoffs and everybody made jokes about Tobias. Oh, the Pistons are going to sign him to this huge deal and he's going to tank off. He's actually been pretty good. He may not be the most consistent scorer, but he's playing the best defense of his career. He's a good rebounder. He's a great leader, a veteran voice for this team to kind of echo off of coaching. Like, they've got a really great foundation set for this team, and it's bringing out the best in Cade Cunningham, who should be an all-star reserve. It really, to me, I think he should be an all-star starter, but the reserve is going to be a huge plus if he makes that for the Pistons.
Exactly. And one thing I want to mention is picking up those key veterans you guys picked up, Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr., Tobias Harris. They bring that kind of veteran leadership you guys needed in that locker room. You guys didn't have that last year. And they bring the spacing. These are guys who could shoot the 3 ball 35% and up. And that kind of gives Cade more space to operate, get into the paint, get to his spots. And I think that's why he's taking the next level, because in his career, he's never really had this type of spacing before. And then you add the JB's Bickerstaff, who's changed the culture and said, yo, guys, you guys are going to dress up in suits. You guys come like professionals, come into the game like that. It's changed the whole culture there in Detroit. And I'm loving it, honestly. Like, what do you think is, how far do you think, I know postseason's still far away, but what do you think will be considered a successful season for this team, especially considering what they've done so far?
I honestly think they're already there. I mean, if you listen to, I got to talk to JB Bickerstaff and Trajan Langdon before the season. They really harped on still focusing on development, taking the proper steps, not rushing anything, not, trying to expedite the process. And then, like, midway through up to here now, I think at, like, the 20 or 30 game point, Trajan Langdon was having an interview saying that we're even better than we thought we were going to be. So I think they've already excelled at expectations, assuming that they don't tank off from here on out to the rest of the season through April. I think they've already kind of excelled past what their expectations are. So, Cade has talked about wanting to clinch a playoff spot, not play in. He said they want to be 6th seed or better. I think that's very possible. I think at this point, if that is their hope, I think even if they did like kind of fall into a 9 or 10 or 8 seed with the play-in, I still think that would be successful. But at this point, considering where the Eastern Conference is, the level of production that they're playing, even with Jaden Ivey being injured, I think the level of production that they can give and growth that they can show is still higher than what we're looking at, because they're not just beating a bunch of bad teams and struggling against the good ones. Like, they've beat up on the Knicks twice at their home floor. They beat the Lakers, swept them. They beat Kevin Durant and the Suns, on the road, leaning on their young foundational guys. And, again, these are guys who, like, if you look at the other layout Eastern Conference guards, they have other all-stars next to them. Like, Dame has Giannis next to him. Jalen Brunson has 2 different all-stars on his team. Like, it's just a different layout. Tyrese Maxey, same thing. So Cade is doing all of this without his second-best player and a bunch of veteran shooters who people were laughing at during the offseason. So, I think their expectations have kind of been met at this point. But I think to even take it even further would be to clinch that playoff spot where they could scare a team like the New York Knicks. Like, they're currently 6th, and I think the Knicks are 3rd right now. And I don't think there's a lot of teams who are, like, eager to want to play against the Pistons in a 7-game series. They've given everybody their best shot all season, and I think they could really provide that same scare in the postseason when it comes.
I'm not sure what happened. Like, maybe because it's 1 o'clock. I don't know.
That should have nothing to do with it, but it sounds like his phone went off. Yeah.
You hear me?
Oh, no, now we do.
Okay, I don't know what
There
happened.
you go.
But yeah, what were you saying? You said near you got cut off.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying. I think the Pistons have shown that they're a serious team to be taken in the Eastern Conference. Like, right now, they're in the 6th seed of the Eastern Conference, and I think the 3rd place team is the Knicks. And I don't think there are any teams right now in the postseason picture that are eager to want to see the Pistons down the line if they get to that playoff mark.
Exactly. And right now, I would not want to see your Pistons in the playoffs. They're a young, exciting team, and they're only going to get better. But, Eric, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Tell people where they can find your work, man.
Man, thank you for the time, man. I really appreciate you, DJ. Yeah, you guys can follow me on social media at I am Eric Vincent. Catch all my social media work on there. Again, I'm a beat reporter for ClutchPoints.com. You can follow me on there as well. Also have a YouTube channel, Top Title Entertainment. If you guys want to tap in and follow me there, I'd really appreciate the support, man. I really appreciate the platform, DJ. It means a lot, bro.
Oh, yeah, no problem, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Eric Vincent, who covers the Detroit Pistons for ClutchPoints.com. Make sure you guys go check out his work, and someone who I became friends with at NBJ. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'm your host, DJ Hamilton, DJ Sports Show here on WRCR Radio, and have a great rest of your weekend.